Welcome back to another episode of Bourbon and Ash. This week's episode, we go a little bit farther south to Florida, St. Augustine, Florida, one of the oldest cities
in the nation.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Me contaron muchas cosas de ti, pero eres más igual puta que yo. Es de hacer, no es de hablar.
Welcome back. Come join us as we explore the world of bourbon and cigars, which offers a rich tapestry of flavors, aromas, and experiences. As we said in the intro, the oldest town in the United States.
In the nation.
Mm-hmm. In the nation, St. Augustine, Florida.
Correct.
They have a distillery down there. We actually found out about this specific distillery by one of our subscribers. Do you guys remember who that was?
Implode.
Implodes.
PW,
yes.
All right, so this one goes to you, Mr. Implodes PW. And as always, we're always happy to review, leave comments, and maybe we'll do a future review of one of the bourbons that you let us know maybe that we should try.
Right, absolutely. So a little feedback. This was suggested by one of our viewers. This is not currently in Kansas. However, we made the trip and brought it back from Florida just to do this review. Super excited about it.
I've never had it. I've never actually even heard of it until I think back in April, May.
Right.
I think is when our subscriber told us to try it.
That's right.
Most of, if not all of their products, they produce gin, vodka. Obviously, they have a double oak. They have a wheated and a corn. All of their bottles have this cool building on the back of the bottle, which you could see through on the front, which indicates their distillery, which happens to be the oldest historical building in St. Augustine, which I think used to be like an ice factory.
And a power plant.
And a power plant.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about the distillery. They don't give a lot of information away. I do know the mash bill. On this particular bourbon, though, and on this distillery, all we know is that it's 20 families that got together and decided to get into the
to restore the
spirit industry,
the ice factory, and then and kind of
make some bourbon.
Make some
spirits.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I'm excited about this one, just specifically because, again, I've never seen it. It's a really cool bottle. I don't know if you guys can see that through there, but you can definitely see that on the back side. And this is the Florida Straight Bourbon. This is 88 proof. Retail MSRP, I think we paid around $50.
Yep.
For it. You girls want to tell what the mash bill is while I pour everybody?
Sure. The mash bill is 60% Florida corn, correct?
Everything is home produced.
Yep.
State of Florida.
22% barley and 18% wheat. And it's pretty cool that they do get their products in Florida and keeping it there. It's unique.
One thing I will say that I'm a little bit cautious about. I mean, it's a pretty color. It's an amber color. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit cautious on the way that it's aged. They are minimally aged for 3 years. However, Florida, having just come back from there, they're not experiencing the highs and lows.
It's just hot.
Temperature-wise that we get in the Midwest.
Gotcha.
It's just hot, and then it's less hot. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect the barreling and the aging process, bringing in more of that flavors from that oak barrel.
From the contraction, the
That's
expansion.
correct. The lack of contraction and expansion.
Yeah.
So
they're open rick houses, I imagine.
I don't know anything about the aging
they didn't
process.
talk about their aging process on their website.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I assume that they're probably standard storage
Rick houses,
facilities.
yeah.
I don't know if they're climate controlled.
Well, they might not even store them there. They might store them in a different location.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them.
Yeah. So
they do use a pot still to distill it.
That's correct.
And they do not do the cold filtration, and I don't think they do filtration at all, if I remember reading that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just not a lot of history and backstory on this. I'd like to learn a little bit more about it. This review is really going to be short and sweet in the sense that we are just here to try this bottle. Again, I'm not sure which states it is available in. I know it is available in a lot, if not a majority of the states. I just know that we can't get that yet here in the state of Kansas, but I am anxious to review it and let you guys know what we think. So before we begin, let's just have a quick toast to all of our followers. We appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our episodes. We hope that you find this as informative, maybe not entertaining. We're always looking to give you guys reinforce positive feedback. So if you guys know of any other particular bourbons that you want us to try, leave comments below and we'll maybe do a future episode.
Absolutely. Para Dios, tus amigos y tu familia.
Salud.
Salud.
A lot of mint. I get a lot of mint. Very citrus. A lot of citrus.
Yes. And spicy.
And spicy at the end. It'll get you spicy.
Well, that was the first sip.
Yeah.
I have a dry mouthfeel at the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
It's dry. You guys get that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Obviously cinnamon,
Yeah.
caramel.
Well, I'm getting kind of like a nut, but not like peanut, but I'm getting a little bit of a nut flavor.
Fit nut is very like on the back end of your tongue.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
up front, it is the citrus, and then the back is that. But I'm not getting a lot of like the caramel that you smell. I'm not getting a lot of that on the taste.
And there's a little bit of cinnamon on the taste for sure. So I think that's where the spiciness might
Yes.
be coming in.
yeah. It's unique. I
It
mean,
is very different.
It is very different. Again, that probably has to do with the climate
I would
that it's
imagine
aged
so.
in. Picking up definitely a lot of spice, but it's not like a burn.
No.
It's spicy
Like-
in the mouth.
Yeah, like flavor
But then it
spice.
dissipates, but it's dry.
It is dry.
Which is different.
It is different.
It is different.
It's almost like have you ever drank like a Merlot? And yeah, like you get it in there and it's full bodied, it's got a lot of flavor. Then you drink and then you're like your mouth's just dry and almost cottony feeling after. It's kind
Yeah.
of like that.
I mean, it's got some good oil. You look at that
Yeah.
legs on that glass.
And it's an absolutely gorgeous color.
It is
That it
a real
is.
pretty color.
It is.
It's different, unique on the finish than it was on the smell. I didn't get
Well,
the same qualities on
when it
this.
sits and finish, I can really taste the mint, which I know feels weird, but it's almost like a cooling,
It is cooling.
like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
like after, like I feel
You
like,
get it goes through your
it's almost like-
sinuses. you know,
yeah,
and
it's almost
not
like a
burn,
cough
but-
drop,
Yes.
right? Like
It's a little different.
It is.
It is
really
definitely different.
It's like I've never had that. It's really cool.
I'll start using these as cough
Oh,
drops.
there you go.
Kids are sick.
Here you go.
Here's a cough
Cough
drop.
Yeah. It is the feel. I'm trying to really latch on to the mouthfeel. It does deprecate too quick. In my opinion, it does, disappear quickly. The feel is just really weird. It does not. I don't feel like it's like a bourbon. I don't feel that heavy, whirlwind that actually occurs with the bourbon. This one's like springy and it's light and it's a little different. It's different to say the least. So
Well, I'm glad we got the opportunity to try it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody has their own palates. Having drank enough of this, I believe I can give an honest opinion of it. I was looking forward to it. Obviously, we went down there. Didn't get to go to the distillery, but just being really inquisitive on how that was going to taste just based on, again, the climate in
Right.
Florida. It's not going to be the same that you get in the rick houses in Kentucky and obviously Missouri because there's no fluctuations, there's no winter. Having said that, I don't know that I would necessarily ever drink this neat based on the bourbons that I have and
Right.
the palate that I have. My rating, I'm probably going to be on the lower end here. I'm probably going to say this is a 5.5, 6. I'll probably say 5.5. However, it's definitely got a lot of spice and it holds steady from the first sip to the second sip, and it lingers in the back of my mouth. Having said that, I think this would be a fantastic mixer because it does have
julep.
it does have a
it
lot of
would
that
add to
minty
it.
flavors. The citrusy and the mint
Yeah.
will hold up really well
This would be really
in a cocktail. Yeah, specifically the
I
mint
think this would be
julep or
amazing in a mint julep.
So I think based on that, I don't know that I would ever drink it neat. Maybe with an ice cube it might be different, but based on my palate and some of the other bourbons that I've had, I don't. This would and for the MSRP price of $49.99, $50, I think this would be a great introduction to somebody who maybe for a great cocktail.
I agree. Yep. I would have to agree. It's a super cool bottle. You know? It's got a great presentation. I think the my BNA on this is 6. It's definitely different, right? Not to reiterate everything, but yes, I probably wouldn't drink it neat.
Okay.
But yeah, what do you girls think?
Well, I like it because it's so different.
Yeah.
I like it because it's just one of those bourbons that's completely different than most of the other bourbons. And that's the nice thing about bourbons is each one's got its own little characteristics. And I think I'd give it a 7 or an 8. Honestly, it's good.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
Okay. So I can't do 7 and an 8. So
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah.
Let's do 7.5. I'll
Okay.
do
Nice.
7.5.
Nice. Well, I agree with you, Trish. I actually kind of like it. I like its bold flavors. I mean, the spice is intense, but it doesn't linger and sit there.
And it doesn't burn all the way down.
all the way down. But I'm starting to really like, which is weird because I'm usually, ooh, it's super sweet. But I'm liking bold flavors and stuff like that as I grow in the bourbon drinking era. And but I like the bold flavors, and I like the mint kind of after feel. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 7.5.
Awesome.
Okay. 2
Okay.
7.5s, a 6, and a
Yep.
5.5. And
Yep.
again, it has nothing to do with this distillery. I'm sure they have fantastic products. Just for my palate, this would probably not be one of the bottles that I reach for
No,
if I'm in the mood
absolutely.
of drinking it neat. However, I do agree, both you ladies hit the spot. This has a ton of flavor.
Very
And
bold.
there is no burn, which is kind of weird because we've had a lot of bourbon where it does have both the burn in the mouth and on the back end where it goes all the way down. This cuts that burn out of it on that finish,
Right.
which is unique. I don't know
It's
that
very unique.
I've had that before.
And one thing to point out, you know, summers of summers of summers, and Florida just has summers. You probably don't want 110, 120 proof. You know, this comes in at 88 proof,
That's
which is
true.
going
It's
to
a
be a
great
little
summer
lighter.
bourbon.
Yeah.
It really
And
So you
is.
got to
it
think
would
about
be
it. If you're in
amazing
Florida,
Yeah.
cocktails. I
yeah,
agree.
you don't want to reach for a 100 plus
Yeah.
proof. This is going to probably hit the spot, and you're right. Even a little Sprite, refreshing.
Yeah.
You can make it work.
I think so. I think for MSRP and for color and for just being unique in the sense that we're getting a distillery that's aging their bourbon.
Yeah.
You know, and
They're making their own juice.
They are.
That's
That is
a
their
big
grain
key.
to glass.
Grain to glass.
all
That's right,
Florida.
girl. Way to go.
So congratulations, St. Augustine Distillery. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to trying some different maybe bourbons. I've heard great things about their double oaked.
I was about to say
they have a
double-
rye.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have fantastic gin and vodka as well.
And I think they have a rum as well.
Ooh,
That
I
know
would
about,
try
yeah.
that.
I think they do have a rum. I would love to go to visit their distillery.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be
Yeah.
very neat.
On the books.
Invite us out there.
Invite us out there. All right, ladies and people, we are going to do the famous whiskey review.
Bourbon wheel, baby.
The Bourbon Wheel. Hit
Yes.
us up. You guys, I'll throw some unique ones. Again, we're not looking for high allocations. We're looking for readily available products. So if there's one that you know that we can get our hands on, or if you want to send us a free bottle, look us up. We will be happy
We'll
to
review it.
We
to
would be
review
more
it.
than happy to
Happily.
review it for you.
All right, here we go, people.
And
Knob Creek.
Knob Creek.
Ooh. Okay. So
be awesome.
So that's going to be fun.
there's going to be different variations of Knob Creek.
Absolutely.
There's a rye. There's an 8-year, a 10-year, I believe Knob Creek just came out with an 18-year.
So they came out with an 18-year, but here's even something a little more exciting. Knob Creek just released a Bourbon X Rye.
Ooh.
It's a new thing that they put out.
Do we have access to it?
We do.
All right.
We
Well,
do.
that's what we're going to try then.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ryes are always good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for Bourbon and Ash. We hope you enjoyed our episode. As always, please drink responsibly.
Hablar, suelta el cel pa perrear, pa tuitear y pa entonar. Yeah, salió de Rosa Polar.